Picture two people, same Monday morning, same corner office, same salary. 6 figures plus bonus. At 10:47 a.m., the same email lands in both inboxes. We're pleased to announce you've been nominated for the next leadership tier. Person A reads the email. Heart rate ticks up slightly, pupils dilate. The reward center, the nucleus accumbens, fires a small wave of dopamine. Person A hits reply and starts typing, "I'm honored." Person B reads the same email. The body reacts differently, not with excitement, with a subtle pressure in the chest. The insula, the brain region that integrates physical sensation with emotional meaning, sends a signal person B can't ignore. Not a racing heart from excitement, but a dull unease. Person B has been trying to override for months. Person B closes the email, opens a blank document, and starts writing. Not a reply to the boss, but the first honest calculation Person B has run in years. What is this job actually costing me when I change the currency? Same email, same salary, same corner office, radically different brains. What you just saw isn't a difference in courage. It isn't a difference in discipline. It's a difference in neural wiring, specifically in what each person's reward system has learned to treat as rewarding. Person A's brain, like most brains, has been trained to register status, salary, and external validation as reward. Person B's brain has undergone something neuroscientists call a reward system recalibration. And that's what this video is about. What happens in the brain when someone makes the quiet exit? No burnout, no crisis, no viral LinkedIn post. What specific neurological and psychological shifts allow certain people to step off the treadmill without collapsing? Spoiler, it's not luck, it's a process, and you can understand it. Before we understand how the exit works, we have to understand why most brains can't do it. In 1997, neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz published a study that fundamentally changed how we understand reward. He studied dopamine neurons in monkeys and discovered something surprising. The neurons don't fire when the reward arrives. They fire when the reward exceeds the prediction. This is called reward prediction error. Your brain constantly generates predictions about what will happen. When reality exceeds the prediction, dopamine surge. When reality matches the prediction, nothing. No response, no learning signal. Now map this onto a career. The first promotion, dopamine fireworks. The second one, still good. The fifth, the seventh, your brain has already recalibrated its prediction. The expected salary, the expected title, the expected recognition, all priced in. The nucleus accumbens barely fires. You're working harder, achieving more, and feeling nothing. And that's exactly where the trap is. Most people interpret this nothing as, I need a bigger win, a higher title, a different company, more money. They chase the next dopamine hit, never realizing the game itself is the problem, not the size of the bet. The rat race isn't a salary problem, it's a biological problem. Your reward system was calibrated to a scale that keeps shifting upward, not because you're greedy, but because that's how the mechanism works. But here's what nobody tells you. The same neuroplasticity that trained your brain into the rat race can train it back out. Reward prediction error isn't a one-way street. It's a mechanism. And mechanisms can be understood, interrupted, and re-aimed. To understand how deep this programming goes, we need to go back, not to your childhood, but about 120 years. In 1914, Henry Ford did something that permanently changed the Western working world. He introduced the 8-hour day and the 40-hour week, and simultaneously doubled his workers' wages to $5 a day. This wasn't generosity. Ford understood he needed workers who earned enough to buy the cars they were producing. He didn't just invent mass production, he invented the mass consumer. At the same time, John D. Rockefeller, then the richest man in the world, was building something much more insidious, the modern education system as we know it. In 1902, Rockefeller funded the General Education Board with the explicit goal of creating a standardized school system. In his own words, I want a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers. This sounds like conspiracy theory. It isn't. The General Education Board's proceedings are publicly available. The system was built by industrialists for industrialists, with the goal of producing obedient, punctual, authority-respecting workers. The school bell, the fixed schedules, the reward for sitting still and complying, all training for the factory, all training for the rat race. Then came the great rebrand. In the 1950s, the job became the career. Work became identity. What do you do became the first question at parties, not out of curiosity about your personality, but to socially rank you. Your brain learned your value as a human is tied to your position on the career ladder. This isn't a natural development. It's a cultural operating system burned into our neural networks over generations. Through school bells, grades, promotions, and the panicked question, so what do you do? And now 120 years later, you're sitting in a corner office Rockefeller designed for you, working in a rhythm Ford set for you, wondering why you can't stop running. Why is the exit so hard? Why do only a few people manage it? And even then, usually after years of hesitation, there isn't one cause, there are four. Four neurological mechanisms that work like locks on a door. You can pick three. If the fourth holds, you stay trapped. Lock 1, dopamine adaptation. We've already covered this. Your nucleus accumbens has learned that promotions, bonuses, and titles are normal. No surprise, no dopamine. But withdrawal, the loss of those signals gets registered as a threat. Your brain doesn't fear staying, it fears the dopamine withdrawal of leaving. Lock 2, social threat detection. In 2003, Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA published a groundbreaking fMRI study. She showed that social exclusion activates the same brain regions as physical pain. The anterior cingulate cortex, the same region that lights up when you stub your toe, also fires when you're socially rejected. Your brain doesn't treat what will people think as an abstract concern. It treats it like a physical wound. Now imagine quitting your high-paying job with no new title, no LinkedIn update, no neat story. The silence, the questions, the looks at the next family gathering. Your brain doesn't interpret this as harmless awkwardness. It interprets it as an attack, as exclusion, as pain. Lock 3, temporal discounting rigidity. In 2004, Samuel McClure showed in an fMRI study at Princeton that intertemporal decisions, choices between now and later, are governed by two competing brain systems: the limbic system, emotional, impulsive, wants reward immediately, and the prefrontal cortex, rational, planning, can delay. In most people, the limbic system dominates when it comes to money. $5,000 now or $10,000 in a year. Most take the $5,000, but in successful exiters, the ratio is reversed. The prefrontal cortex has learned to override the limbic system, not through willpower, through training. Lock 4, the hedonic treadmill. Brickman and Campbell described a phenomenon in 1971 that is now considered settled science. Humans adapt to positive changes so quickly that they return to their baseline happiness level. The promotion that made you euphoric in January feels normal by March. The higher salary becomes the new baseline, and you keep running. Not because running makes you happy, but because standing still feels like falling behind. These four locks work together. You feel no dopamine kick from the job anymore, lock 1, but you're terrified of the social rejection of leaving, lock 2. You know rationally that freedom would be better, lock 3, prefrontal cortex. But your limbic system screams for the safety of the next paycheck, and the treadmill, lock 4, whispers that the next level will finally bring happiness. The last level didn't either, but this time for sure. Now the good news, the same neuroplasticity that installed these locks can remove them. The question is, how? In Stoic philosophy, the school founded by Zeno in Athens around 300 BC, practiced by Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, there's a fundamental formula. Epictetus opens his Enchiridion with it. Some things are within our control, others are not. That's it. That's the entire operating system in one sentence. Focus exclusively on what you control. Accept everything else without resistance. Your brain stops burning energy on things it cannot change. And suddenly, enormous cognitive resources become available. For exiting the rat race, there's a parallel formula. Let's call it the recalibration formula. Autonomy first, then status, then money. Why? Because autonomy, control over your own time and decisions, is the only variable in the equation that is within your control. Status is given by others. Money is earned from others. Both are external. Both are, in Epictetus's language, not up to us. Most people do it backward. They chase money, external, buy status with it, external, and hope a feeling of freedom is left over at the end. But it never works, because money and status are adaptable rewards. The treadmill devours them the moment you achieve them. Autonomy, on the other hand, the self-determined life, control over your time, the ability to say no without existential fear, doesn't adapt. Every morning you wake up without an alarm doesn't start to feel normal. It keeps feeling free, and it stays that way. The recalibration formula demands a fundamental shift in perspective. Not how much do I need to earn to be free someday, but how much freedom can I have today? And how much money do I actually need for it? This isn't a savings formula, it's a priority formula. Your reward system gets trained to weight autonomy higher than status. And once that weighting tips, everything changes. Just as Stoicism organizes life around 4 cardinal virtues, wisdom, courage, temperance, justice, neural recalibration has 4 domains. If you only train one, the system collapses. Domain 1, dopamine realignment, wisdom. Your reward system has to learn that autonomy signals, a free Tuesday morning, a self-directed project, a self-chosen rhythm, are more rewarding than status signals. This doesn't happen through insight, it happens through repetition. Every time you make a micro-decision for autonomy and the world doesn't end, your nucleus accumbens records. That was good, that's safe. We can do that again. Wisdom is seeing through the trap and acting on what you see. Domain 2, social fear tolerance, courage. Remember Eisenberger's study? Social exclusion equals physical pain. The solution isn't to numb the pain, it's to tolerate it. Dosed, controlled, step by step. This is exposure therapy applied to social anxiety. Small deviations from the norm, small no's, small moments where you stand out socially. And your brain learns, I didn't die. I wasn't expelled from the tribe. It was just uncomfortable. Courage isn't fearlessness, it's acting despite fear. Domain 3, temporal reframing, temperance. Your brain needs to shift from rigid discounting, money now greater than freedom later, to flexible discounting. The key, make time units visible, not abstract, concrete. Every hour you spend in a meeting that could have been an email is an hour of your life. Every weekend you sacrifice for deadlines is a weekend you never get back. Once your brain starts treating time not as an infinite resource, but as an exhaustible currency, the calculation changes. Temperance isn't deprivation, it's precision about what you're actually spending. Domain 4, identity rewiring, justice. Your self-image, I am my career, sits in the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the same area that processes self-reference. Untangling this link takes the longest, but it starts with a simple exercise. Who are you when nobody asks about your job? Write your answer, without title, without company, without salary. That's the person who remains when the career falls away. And that person is the starting point, not the career ladder. Justice to yourself, being who you actually are, not who the system trained you to be. Enough theory. How do you actually train this? The Recalibration Protocol has 3 components, and they only work together. First, micro-autonomy reps. Every day, one decision that prioritizes autonomy against the impulse to maximize status or money. Leave an hour early even though the desk is full. Decline a meeting that serves no purpose. Start a small project no one is paying for, but that electrifies you. Every one of these decisions feels wrong at first. Your brain screams, "This is unproductive. This is career suicide." But that's exactly the training. Your nucleus accumbens needs evidence that autonomy isn't dangerous, and it only gets that through repetition. Second, somatic listening. Your body often knows before your mind that something is off. The tightness in your chest on Sunday evening. The knot in your stomach before the status meeting. This isn't random. It's your insula sending a signal. Most people override the signal. They call it discipline. The protocol demands the opposite. Listen. When your body says no, while your mind says rationalization, trust your body. Write down what you feel physically and in what situation. After a week, you have a map of your own warning signals. Third, temporal reframing. Convert money amounts consistently into time units. That meeting that cost you $500? At your real hourly rate, that's about 3 hours of work, 3 hours of your life. Was that meeting worth it? The question isn't sarcastic. It's the most precise question you can ask yourself. These three components, micro decisions, body signals, time conversion, are like a workout program for your reward system. No single component is enough, but together, practiced over months, they change what your brain registers as worth pursuing. One of the most powerful practices in Stoic philosophy is what Epictetus called the pause. Here's how he put it. It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. Between an external event and your reaction, there is a gap. In that gap, often less than a second, lies your entire freedom. For career decisions, that gap needs to be 48 hours. Here's why. Impulsive career decisions, the panicked acceptance of a promotion you don't want, the angry resignation after a bad meeting, the desperate acceptance of a counteroffer, are almost always made by the limbic system. Fear, anger, greed, pride. The amygdala hijacks the prefrontal cortex, and you decide in a state neuroscientists call an amygdala hijack. The gap disappears. 48 hours is enough for the amygdala to calm down and the prefrontal cortex to take back over. 48 hours is too short to forget the decision, but long enough for the emotional wave to recede. It's the gap, deliberately stretched. The 48-hour protocol works like this. When you face a career decision, accept or decline a promotion, switch jobs, resign, you ask yourself one question in the first 15 minutes. Do I want this, or am I afraid of not wanting it? Then you write the answer down, physically, by hand. Not typing, writing. The motor cortex activates and the brain processes the decision more deeply. Then you wait 48 hours, no analysis, no rumination, no pro-con list. That just rationalizes what your amygdala already decided. After 48 hours, you read what you wrote. And then you make the decision, not from the impulse, but from the gap. Most people who successfully exited the rat race did exactly this, often without naming it. They didn't fight the impulse to stay. They inserted a gap and let the impulse disprove itself. Stoicism is more than a coping strategy. It's a philosophy built on concepts that have survived 2 millennia. 2 of them matter especially here. Memento Mori, remember you must die. The Stoics didn't say this to be morbid. They said it to be precise. When you genuinely internalize that your time is finite, the rat race stops making sense. You cannot simultaneously hold the awareness, I have limited days on this planet, and the behavior, let me spend another decade optimizing for a title I don't care about. One of the two has to give. Amor Fati, love your fate. Not just accept it, love it. Every meeting that wasted your time, every boss who underestimated you, every year you spent running in place, it all brought you here. And this moment, the moment you see the trap for what it is the moment you can finally use it. Translated to the quiet exit. Memento Mori applied to your life. Respect for your remaining time. When you stop chasing the next level, you can finally start inhabiting the current one. The question isn't what's next. It's, is this how I want to spend my Tuesday? Amor Fati applied to your choices. Every wrong turn, every dead-end promotion, every year in the hamster wheel, it wasn't wasted, it was data. It taught you what freedom isn't, and you cannot recalibrate a system without data. And then there's Ikigai, the Japanese concept of a reason to get up in the morning, which parallels the Stoic idea of living with purpose. Ikigai sits at the intersection of 4 questions. What do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? What can you be paid for? The rat race usually answers only the last question and optimizes it to exhaustion. The quiet exit begins when you take the other 3 questions seriously, not as a hobby, not as someday, but as non-negotiable variables in your life calculation. This isn't esoteric wisdom, it's a framework your prefrontal cortex needs to push back against the limbic, more, now, safe. Your brain cannot simultaneously optimize for meaning and run the rat race. One of the 2 systems has to win. Perhaps the most powerful practice in Stoicism is the evening review. Seneca described it as reviewing the day. Every night, he asked himself 3 questions. What did I do well today? What did I do poorly? What did I leave undone? For exiting the rat race, you don't need a nightly review. You need a weekly one. Let's call it the weekly autonomy audit. Every Sunday evening, the same moment that used to bring the Sunday night dread, you answer 4 questions. How many micro decisions for autonomy did I make this week? Count them. No judgment, just counting. How many times did I override a somatic signal? And why? What rationalization did you use? This is just temporary. After this project, things will get better. Write the rationalization down and read it aloud. Does it still sound true? What did I pay for with time this week that I should have paid for with money? And vice versa? The meeting marathon that ate 3 hours could have been a $20 book. The expensive dinner with colleagues you didn't want cost you not just money, but an evening with your kids. Who was I this week when no one asked about my job? The audit takes 15 minutes, but those 15 minutes are the difference between I'm thinking about change and I am changing. Your brain needs feedback, it needs the numbers. Without a feedback loop, there's no recalibration. Seneca did this every night. You can do it every Sunday. The Stoic journal is more than a diary. In the tradition of Marcus Aurelius, it's a mirror. His meditations, which he never intended to publish, were written to himself, for himself. He wasn't recording events, he was examining who he was becoming. And here we reach the meta layer of the quiet exit. Your relationship with the rat race is not at bottom a career problem. It's an identity problem disguised as a career problem. The question isn't, how do I get out of here? The question is, what would I have to believe about myself for the exit to become possible? Because if your self-image is, I am my career, then exiting is suicide. If your self-image is, I'm the person who pushes through, no matter how hard it gets, then exiting is defeat. If your self-image is, my worth is measured by what I produce, then exiting is devaluation. The recalibration of the reward system is only half of it. The other half, and this is where most people fail, is the recalibration of self-image. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself every morning, today I shall meet with meddling, ungrateful, violent, treacherous, envious, and unsociable people. He wasn't complaining, he was preparing. He was reminding himself who he was before the world told him who to be. The Stoics called this the Inner Citadel, the fortress inside you that external circumstances cannot breach. Not your title, not your salary, not your LinkedIn profile. The thing that remains when all of that is stripped away. For the quiet exit, the Inner Citadel becomes, who do I want to be when I stop running? And what's the first piece of evidence I can give myself today? This isn't a goal, it's a practice. Every week, one small piece of evidence that you are the person who's no longer playing the game. Every week, one entry, not about money, not about career moves, but about what you traded your existence for and whether it was worth it. Here's your challenge. No more theory. 7 days, 7 micro decisions. Day 1, make one decision for autonomy that feels wrong. Decline a meeting, leave work on time. Say no to something you've always said yes to out of fear of social rejection. Day 2, Write down one somatic signal you usually ignore. Where in your body do you feel that something is off? Describe it. Name it. Day 3. Convert your salary into hours. Divide your monthly net income by your actual working hours, including commuting, including just quickly checking emails, including Sunday night rumination. That's your real hourly rate. Day 4. Apply your real hourly rate to 3 things you bought or did this week. Was that meeting worth it? The dinner? The new purchase? In hours of your life? Day 5. Answer the question, who am I when no one asks about my job? Write the answer down, not typed, handwritten. Day 6. Apply the 48-hour rule. Is there a career decision you can delay? A promotion? A switch? A commitment? Write down what your fear is telling you. Wait 48 hours. Read it again. Day 7. Autonomy audit. 4 questions, 15 minutes, Sunday evening. Count your micro decisions. Read your rationalizations aloud. Face the numbers. Leave a comment. Which of the 4 neurological locks holds you the strongest? And what was your day 1 micro decision? And subscribe for more of Keys Uncoverings, new video every week.